And we would take turns, and she would purr, tasting that ice cream, and her eyes would sparkle. That night, in the middle of everything that happened, I stopped, and my heart froze because I realized it was the ice cream that she loved, not us.
What happened that night?
They woke me up, arguing, which was very odd because they never argued. My father always gave in to her. He always gave her what she wanted. But that night, what she wanted was a divorce. I crept to the top of the stairs trying to listen. She was leaving him for another man. My father.
Your father refused?
He begged, pleaded. We deserve another chance. We could make it work. We are happy together. But she just laughed. I found someone better. He's just as rich, and he's a real man. My father was a great and honorable man. He was gentle and soft-spoken, but he was very brave. He got a medal in Korea. Just when he was a kid, he was none of those things that she said about him, but he just took it because he loved her so much. Maybe if he had a mean streak, maybe if he made her pay, but he just let her laugh. That same cruel, ugly laugh that I've heard so many times since. Then...
What happened?
My father said, "What about David? If you don't love me, you can't leave him. He's your only son." And she said, "You can have him. He's just like you. He makes me sick." Can you imagine that? A mother saying that about her only son. It was the ice cream. She never loved either one of us. She married my father for his money, for his social position.
Well, Vanessa led me to believe that she was a blue blood.
Well, she was princess in her father's hardware store. But to be fair, it was a chain of them. She wasn't broke. She wanted to be Grace Kelly. And when she got what she wanted, we were...
expendable?
Yes. Expendable. She wasn't content to just walk out. My father tried to stop her. He stood between her and the door, and he said, "If you leave me, I don't think I could live without you." I know he didn't mean it. He was just saying that to try to get her to stay. But she just laughed. And she said, "What are you gonna do? Kill yourself?" I wanted to run in there and tell him to stop. I wanted to run in and tell her to just leave us alone if she hated us so much. She wouldn't go. She was having too much fun now, reducing my father to something that she could wipe her feet on. She said, "What are you gonna do? You can't kill yourself. You're not man enough to kill yourself. That's why I'm leaving you, because you're spineless." They just started yelling. I just wanted them to stop. But I couldn't do anything. It was like I was standing there watching this grotesque movie playing out before my very eyes. My father reached out to her and he held her hands, he kissed her, and he said, "Please don't." And tears were rolling down his face. And she just laughed. The next thing I know, she was turning to the drawer, the bottom drawer, unlocking it of the desk. And I knew that's where they kept the gun. She stood there, checking the gun to see if it was loaded. They were talking over each other at this time, and my mother handed him the gun. And I wanted to say, shoot her! Shoot her! She hates us so much! But I knew my father would never do something like that. And then the rest of it is like in slow motion. My father, he put the gun to his head. My mother stood there motionless. And he cocked the trigger. And then my mother, at the last second, her expression changed from one of cold derision to fear. And she started to shout out, "Charles, no," but then it was too late. I was able to